Hello everybody, I finally have another Criterion Collection review coming on the way. I am very excited to talk about this other film that came out in 1994, and it is another French film. And it just happens to be a film that I never knew that I was going to relate, and how it was made 25 years ago, and it actually looks like it could have been made today. And that's why I am so excited to talk about it right now. When this film came out in 1994, it was only playing in available theaters in France. It was not released in the US for a very long time, and when it showed in the Cannes Film Festival, it blew everybody away, and when they transported the film to American audiences, they too were surprised about how great and meaningful this movie was. And when people got the chance to see it, it's just like, wow, this is a way how to make independent filmmaking. It can inspire future filmmakers, and it's a film that I was really happy to see evolve as I watched it about twice yesterday. And the film that I'm going to review is called L'eau Froid, or Cold Water.
Make me a deal and make it straight, or sign a seal, articulate.
Cold Water is a 1994 film directed by Olivier Assayas, and it is about two teenagers from France. Their names are Gilles and Christine, and these are two kids who feel very troubled in life. They both have dysfunctional families that they just feel as if they can't really escape from, and they really don't feel content with the life that they're in. But once these two are together in their free time, they are able to build this really progressive relationship about them understanding each other and where they come from and what they stand for. And as you dig deeper into the film, it's basically just a conversation between two troubled people and how they can make things better for themselves and how they're able to deal with their problems. And the film is very dedicated and focused on their relationship. It's just about these two teens that just want to have it easy in life, but they can't, and how they interact with each other and what do they find for their own goals in their personal lives. And that's all I could probably say about the story of the film, because this film is just awesome. I have to say that I have never really been able to relate to a film like this in a while, ever since I watched, Spider-Man or all these other films, but this is a film that feels so realistic on its own. And it feels so real because of the way of how the filmmaker Olivier Assayas is able to just allow these actors to act natural within these type of situations that they were put in.
On n'est pas au lycée, on est dans un commissariat.
Ouais, c'est super grave.
This is a film that is definitely worth analyzing, because this film is very realistic on its own, that you feel as if you were probably the characters once in the past. And it's trying to reflect the rebellious nature of how adolescents can be, like whenever they feel as if they feel like the world is against them, or they have a type of family that's very dysfunctional and they just can't cooperate. Those are things that I find really fascinating, what the director Olivier Assayas did in presenting this type of environment/nature in front of us. And how the director does this is through the usage of his cinematography, because the cinematography is just wonderful. The film uses a ton of medium close-up shots to capture conversations or everyday conversations that the actors are giving. And whenever he's using medium close-up shots, he's able to capture the expressions, the facial expressions and the emotions of the actors. And when they are saying their line, they're not very close to the camera, but you can actually see like what they're going through, how they're acting, what do they want in their life. And that is something that I found really cool about how they could just use mostly medium close-up shots, and how it can almost be your entire film without it being very distracting.
Non, tu sais pas. Encore un peu enfant, mais bon, c'est pas grave.
C'est toi qui ferais comprendre ce que je te dis.
Alors, qu'est-ce que tu veux? Dis-moi, qu'est-ce que tu veux?
The thing I also love about Cold Water is its usage of visuals, because this film uses a great ton of visuals to portray the world that it's trying to tell. And the way that the visuals try to portray this is through the usage of cool colors. This movie is shot in a very bluish/gray environment. Almost every scene is blue throughout the entire movie. Some of the actors wear blue. Someone goes to the river whenever it's blue. When they wake up in the morning, it's blue. And it's trying to portray the world as kind of a sad place. And since the title of this movie is Cold Water, it's a metaphor for how things can be just very cold-hearted in life, and how we just can't, get up to the top to see the sunlight.
Vortex of telephone radio, aircraft assembly frame, ammunition.
My favorite thing about Cold Water is just how impactful it was for me as a film viewer, because I never knew that I was going to relate to this film in two ways. The first way that I was able to relate was through the psych terms I was able to use while watching it, because this movie is a metaphor of the hardships in life. That's why it's called Cold Water, because no one wants to be within cold water due to how cold-hearted and how freezing it can be without someone there to warm us up or to give us advice when we need it. And I was able to relate to that in that way because it's trying to present that, life is also a mental battle with whatever you're going through and the reason why you act that way. So that's the reason how I was able to use the psychological terms in this film. The other way I was able to relate to this film is just how this film impacted me, about if I could make a small film one day, because this is a film that deserves way more attention, especially here in the US, because it's not very open to American audiences. But one of the best things I would like to say is that this is a great film for young filmmakers out there who want to be inspired by indie filmmaking, because this is definitely an indie film, but it's also a film that could teach people about how to make a movie without a humongous budget, without big special effects, big sets, And that's just how awesome Cold Water is and how impactful it has been on me. It's definitely an unseen masterpiece by Olivier Assayas, and I'm also proud to say that it's now a seen masterpiece by me, thanks to the Criterion Collection being able to recognize these films and how, even if they're old or new, they could still impact people for future generations. And Cold Water is that film, and I just really hope people can discover this movie more, because this movie deserves even more praise and more attention. And I have to give this movie another 10 out of 10. And those are my thoughts on Cold Water, or L'eau Froid. Thank you very much as always, guys. I am really enjoying Criterion Collection reviews because it is a way about how I could express filmmaking to y'all, and how Criterion Collection has a really huge influence on people around the world and how they could learn from old films and how they could use these techniques if they ever want to become future filmmakers one day. So thank you as always, and always be sure to check out for more videos coming up. Thank you.